Hi, everyone. Kevin Hassel, New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. We should be starting up in a minute or so. Oh, okay, there we go. So actually with that, I see Keisha has popped on the camera, so I'll welcome her and kick it over to her to start us off today. So welcome to the third annual Mid-Atlantic Ocean Forum. Go ahead, Keisha.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you to the third annual Mid-Atlantic Ocean Forum. For almost the last 2 years, I've had the esteemed pleasure of serving as chair to the Mid-Atlantic Regional Council on the Ocean, also known as MARCO, representing the coastal states of Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and last but not least, New York, where I also serve as the Deputy Secretary of Planning, Development, and Community Infrastructure at New York State's Department of State. MACO, which is the Mid-Atlantic Committee on the Ocean, was established by MARCO and our partners several years ago to create a platform for coordination between our states, federal agencies, tribal nations, and fisheries. MACO conducts its work primarily through its collaborative working groups, and every year also convenes an ocean forum to learn from partners and hear from stakeholders. We are at a momentous time for the ocean, with a new federal administration moving to advance ideas and policies that will provide even greater attention to the ocean as a source of renewable energy, as a place to protect, and as a resource and a system to better understand. Meeting the ambitious goals set by the Mid-Atlantic states, and now also by this federal administration, can only be achieved with partnership that reaches across borders and organizations. At its core, the forum is about fostering this spirit of partnership. While the forum provides members and partners an opportunity to share information, perhaps more importantly, it also gives us a chance to hear and learn from the larger Mid-Atlantic Ocean community. As we look forward to the challenges ahead, opportunities for hardening division also plays out in the ocean planning space as we independently prioritize one action or conservation over the other. But addressing urgent and pressing challenges like the acceleration of climate change and post-COVID economic recovery shows us that we will need to seek out ways to achieve our goals, our shared goals together. A sustainable blue economy will require coordination that spans across governmental agencies and state borders. During this time, it is critical we find opportunities to connect, to share, and to learn from one another. Through MARCO's stewardship of regional collaboration, data sharing, and stakeholder engagement, MARCO works to reduce offshore youth conflicts, foster more sustainable and inclusive economic prosperity, build ocean and coastal resilience to climate change impacts, and increase the understanding of the ocean's role in climate change mitigation. We are here to help as a thought partner and as an active collaborator. For you in the audience, this forum is an important platform. Over the next few days, we will hear from a diverse array of experts about critical topics like climate impacts on the ocean, new and innovative monitoring technologies, offshore wind development, and ocean justice. Our planning team has worked incredibly hard to ensure that the suite of events during this forum provide ample opportunity for discussion. And I encourage you to be an active member in any or all of these conversations. While building connections is easier to do in person, I'm sincerely urging you to participate in as much of the forum as possible, not only the topics of prime interest to you, but also those you might be less familiar with. Keep an open disposition, hearing new ideas and perspectives, and to be open with us on your thoughts and concerns. I would also like to pause and extend sincere gratitude for the commitment and great work of the MACO Steering Committee and the forum planning team, as well as all the session planning leads and MARCO staff, Avalon Bristow and Judy Tucker, who have put countless hours into the planning of this forum. I also would like to thank the many panelists and speakers and moderators that have graciously donated their time to helping make this an informative and productive event. On behalf of MARCO Management Board, we thank you. And finally, I'd also like to thank the Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation for their financial support over the past several years that has seeded so much and sustained so much of MARCO's work, and in particular, this annual forum. Especially during a year that has challenged our society in a way that we once thought unimaginable, I'm encouraged by each and every person listening in today. Your willingness to learn and provide feedback will directly contribute to protecting and restoring our ocean's vitality. Thank you all so very much for the opportunity to speak with you all today. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Kevin Hassel, the current MACO chair, a colleague of mine on the MARCO Management Board, who will provide an overview of this week's agenda and webinar logistics.
Great, thank you so much, Keisha. That was a great summary of all the stuff that we've been working hard on and with everyone that we do things with. So it's wonderful to be here for our third annual Mid-Atlantic Ocean Forum. So welcome everyone. As Keisha said, I'm Kevin Hassel. I'm with New Jersey's Department of Environmental Protection. I've been the chair for MACO for the past 2 years. It's been a challenging year. So, last year, with the start of that pandemic, it really changed everything, kind of opened our eyes. Switching to that virtual event that we had last year, kicking that off, that was really just the beginning of seeing how things would change. I think we just need to take a moment and acknowledge how hard and tragic this past year has been for so many people and how many other challenges we have to end up facing in this world. So, but unlike last year at this time, we can see amazing progress going towards ending the pandemic and a future with a lot more hope in it. So we also see so many people stepping up to the challenges across the board and trying to address a myriad of problems that we need to deal with, so either from reckoning with social justice reform to tackling climate change. We see so many people across the country looking for solutions and opportunities. And I think it's safe to say that when we put our will to it, there's nothing that we can't accomplish together. So, I'm full of hope as we move forward this year, and I look forward to working with all of you, whether that's virtually now or in the future in person. That would be great. But we've continued to take what we've learned from this past year virtually, and we can apply that moving forward. It helps us build our platform wide enough to help enable more people to be a part of our conversation. So I think as we move forward, this has been a great opportunity to reach people that may have not been able to participate before. So I think that's a really good thing that we can look forward to. So we've got a great forum planned over 4 days. We went a little big. It's just a little. So I think we should be ambitious in what we try to accomplish. So there's a lot of big challenges in front of us. That means we have a lot of great opportunities, and then we can see that over the forum. Keisha touched on a lot of the things that we could address and we'll be working on. Again, I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank all of our team that made this happen, from Avalon and Judy, our Marco staff, to Tony and Carl at the Urban Coast Institute and Monmouth University for helping enable and facilitate a lot of the work we do, and everyone across our MACO teams, from our federal partners, all across our states, tribal interests, and the Mid-Atlantic Fisheries Management Council. So every day, it's amazing to see how much work these folks put in and what they can accomplish. So I'm really just happy to be a part of this team, and it's amazing. They just work tirelessly to advance our goals and all the work that they have to do at their day job. So as Keisha said, we'll be going over the forum agenda for today and the actual for the 4 days. Before we do that, I think we'll just take a second. We'll go through some of the logistics of what we have here. So we're using this platform, the GoToWebinar on platform. Everyone is muted by default. You can see in the picture here you can see that there's different options that you have. There's a Q&A section where you can add comments and questions there. So I think take an opportunity to familiarize yourself with that. We'll be using this across the 4 days in different venues. Today, for this initial opening plenary, you can provide comments in there. We won't be directly interacting with the comments in that box, but as we're recording all this stuff, we'll have a record of anything any ideas or any comments that you wish to provide with us. So that'll all be captured in there. We can also share things with you. We can place links and other information or questions to you into that same chat box there. So the link that you had today that you joined us with, that is good for the entire day today. So, after this opening plenary we have, there is another session coming up on climate-induced changes in the ocean. It's the same link. So make sure if you log off, you use the same link to come back in. Each day that we have for these 4 days is a different link. So you need to register for each day individually. And that the same thing applies. That link will be valid all day for those different sessions. So I think that's everything that we have for just the logistics. I'll just really run through, try to do it pretty quickly about the objectives of the goals and objective of our meeting and all the different sessions that we're going to touch on over the next 4 days. So overall, our goal is building and maintaining a resilient mid-Atlantic ocean environment and economy by planning collectively for the future. right? So we have our objectives. We want to generate awareness of issues and shared responsibilities of state, federal, tribal groups, and the Fisheries Management Council and regional ocean actions. We're going to be looking to review the state of emerging issues in regional ocean planning in the Mid-Atlantic and some of the accomplishments and next steps that we can address there. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of things that we still need to do. But also, this is really about connecting. So we want to connect with our partner agencies and engage with diverse ocean stakeholders while identifying opportunities to coordinate and collaborate on all these different ocean actions throughout our region. So as I mentioned, today's opening plenary, we have a great group of speakers. We're going to be going through federal, tribal, regional, and state priorities around regional ocean planning and ocean issues. The different folks' perspectives that they bring to the table here. That'll be a great panel setup that we have, and here's some really good perspectives. And then we'll have some open discussion towards the end of that. But as I mentioned before, later today at 2:30, there's a climate-induced ocean changes, kind of the big picture. It's a broad overview of the climate-induced observed and potential ocean impacts, especially what we're seeing or anticipating in the ocean waters off the Mid-Atlantic region. So I think that really helps set a tone for the challenges that we're dealing with, and setting up some of the ways that we have solutions there. Tomorrow, we're going to start off early in the morning. We label this one time to get real, right? So what we've learned and what we need to know to inform offshore wind siting. I think this is a great panel for hearing about what are the lessons learned that we've gained from some of the initial siting of offshore wind energy and decision making. So we'll have a panel there talking about some of the projects that are there. And we've been gathering information, and they've installed a few turbines, and so we've been collecting information there. So we want to make sure we share what we've heard and what we know about those as soon as we can get there. And then what do we need to know to better inform our decisions regarding offshore wind siting? So I think that would be a great panel. Join that one. There will be discussion panels and question and answer sessions that you can submit questions and answers for that stuff. So that'll be great. Later in that day, around noontime, we are going to have a working group session where we'll be looking with all the work groups that work across the Mako continuum. So this is a good opportunity. The rest of the stuff has been kind of, you can provide comments in the chat box, but this lunchtime opportunity is really to connect with folks. So you can come in, it'll be open dialogue, really. You can come in and talk with us. So we really look forward to those opportunities. Really critical, moving forward, and all the things that have happened and that we see. Next session there is science, knowledge, equity, and justice for regional ocean planning. So, we want to really hear from scientists and other professionals about how their work contributes to justice in regional ocean planning, and discuss those best practices for achieving ocean equity and justice. I think that'll be a really great session. We'll hear some folks across a large spectrum of perspectives. And there'll be really great breakout sessions there as well to discuss some of the things like ocean equity and data, community engagement and outreach, and equitable benefits from these ocean resources. So that's part of those solutions that we're talking about. Wednesday, another packed day of really informal information sessions. We're looking at innovative technologies and approaches for understanding ocean changes. Ocean's a big place, so it's we're looking at that. Currently it's really undersampled, and there's insufficient support for sustained observations to fill all these data needs for ocean management. This session is really going to focus on those innovative technologies that we know about and techniques for understanding those changes in the ocean. There's a lot going on out there, so it'll be really good to hear about what's happening, what technology is available, and different case studies and how that applies for those data management needs and management decisions. Again, another interest of that on Wednesday, there's going to be a public listening session around noontime. And that's, the steering committee will be available. We're going to just be there to actually hear from you. So it's kind of like we used to do a while ago with regional planning body meetings, where we give you an opportunity to provide comment to us. So I think we have a good hour there that folks can come in and provide some comments. Wrapping up that day, we'll have a poster session. This kind of grew out of what we wanted to do previously when we were planning for an in-person one. we thought it would be a really great opportunity, since so many people would be in one place, to get people together and provide people with an opportunity to showcase the work they're doing. So, this is at least a step in that direction, and hopefully this will continue as we move forward. We're going to be featuring research here from students and early career professionals. So it's all stuff that's related and relevant to ocean policy, ocean science, and socioeconomics in the region. So please tune into that. We'll have some people presenting their posters. So it'll be a great opportunity for them to present to all of us, but also hear back from the community. So the last day, conservation, living marine resources management in the face of a changing climate, right? It's a driving theme. Clearly, there's a lot of issues that we continue to have to deal with. We're going to learn about this ongoing research designed to help managers understand the changes that are happening to species and explore how these different mapping tools and data tools can support our planning and management in the future. So I think that'll be a really great session. Some cool stuff there. That's going to kind of bring us up to our closing plenary. So what we're going to do is really just close out with some of the perspectives from the forum, what we've heard in the chat box and the various discussions throughout the day, what we've heard from the different presentations that we'll be being part of. We'll be just setting that up with some panels, but this is a little bit different than we've done in the past. Usually you hear from just our perspectives of what we've heard from the week or the day, whichever length of meeting we're doing there. But this time we're opening this up for different government, academic, and environmental representatives to actually, they're going to be part of this during this whole week. They're being engaged in all these meetings. So we want to make sure that we provide an opportunity for people to provide their perspectives of what they've heard and what they see as opportunities moving forward. So that's the basic run through of the 4 days of forum. And, it's really exciting and really stoked that there's so much cool stuff and information here. So I hope that you'll join us for all 4 days, and look forward to working with all of you. So first off, I don't know, I'm going to see, we're trying to get Chief Stephen Atkins from the Chickahominy tribe. He was going to join us and provide a tribal blessing as we move forward. I think he's getting set up. We'll see if he can make it on. I'm just going to introduce him and see if he makes it on the next few minutes. So Chief Stephen R. Atkins, he was elected chief of the Chickahominy tribe in 2001. Great, I'm glad to see you were able to get in, Chief. And the Chickahominy tribe gained federal recognition in 2018. So Chief Atkins has worked tirelessly on behalf of the Virginia Indian tribes to gain federal recognition and to ensure that Americans' leadership includes a Native American voice. So while I recognize there's much still to be done in that regard, we can see some progress as we've just had the first Native American to serve as a cabinet level secretary with Secretary Deb Haaland heading the U.S. Department of Interior. So I think it's really great that we're making progress and continue to look forward to working together. I just wanted to express our gratitude to you, Chief Atkins, for beginning in our forum, kicking this off with the tribal blessing, and to further recognize the important work that we need to do, working closely government to government, and acknowledge the importance of our diverse perspectives, which are critical in advancing our shared goals. I just want to take the opportunity to say that we acknowledge that the traditional custodians of the land where we live and work today are represented by the tribes that have joined us today. And we want to pay our respect to their elders, past and present. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to you, Chief Atkins. I can't hear you. I think you may still be on mute.
Okay, are we good now? Good afternoon, and I appreciate your opening words. It's really heartwarming to see this kind of initiative around protecting Mother Earth and preserving it for future generations. So it sounds like a very exciting next 4 days, and I'm really pleased to be able to offer a blessing on this assembly. But I do want to commend all of you for taking the time to be here, and again for the very real commitment that I see among you for protecting Mother Earth. So I'll start my blessing with just a few words in Algonquin, and I would like to use a blessing that speaks to the 4 cardinal directions. Mishivanato, Chesketakewa, Woshawa Womanada. Great Spirit, loving Father of all nations, we recognize you as the creator of all things. Nothing escapes your purview. So even today as we gather, I seek your blessings on this august group that is gathered today and for the next 4 days to tend to this very creation that is a result of your handiwork, to be the stewards and the decision makers around policy, or at least that can influence the policy that governs this place we call Mother Earth. So Creator, we look to the east, whose colors are often symbolized by yellow. And when we think of the east, and I would ask you folks today to just in your mind's eye envision a circle. And the significance of that is there's no beginning or an end to a circle. And I know that's where we want to be today as we, in fact, try to preserve Mother Earth for future generations. So we look to the east, and in your mind's eye, let's see the sun just breaking across the horizon, the beautiful yellow light that comes from the sun. And I want you to envision, as we do the smudging, those vapors, that smoke going up to our Creator, seeking His blessings on the very things that we're doing. So as we look to the east, it does represent the sunrise. It represents new things, birth of new things. And it causes us to look toward the spring, even in the dead winter, when we see the sun come up and we feel those warm rays, we start looking forward to the spring. And then we look to the south, that's often associated with the color red. And we think of the youth. We think of water that springs from Mother Earth. We think of the warmth that bathes the creation and prepares it for new growth. And we look at the healing sunshine that comes along with the plants that break through the surface, the greening of the trees, and the planting of new crops for the eventual harvest. And then we pivot and we look to the west. The west represents adulthood. The west represents the sunset. And we may look at this and consider it analogous to our life. In the west, we look at the sunset and we are reminded that our lives will reach that sunset stage. We're reminded that as we look to the west, that's often symbolized by the color black, we think of nighttime, where the Creator has ordained that we would sleep and find rest to replenish our bodies and minds for the days and weeks ahead. We look at the West as a time for reaping of our harvest, as all things come together in this perfect plan of our Creator. And finally, I would ask you to look to the north. The north reminds us of the earth's balance. It reminds us of wisdom. It reminds us of our ancestors who've gone on before. It returns us in a way to that spirit that has spurred us on to those levels that we would not otherwise reach without the encouragement of inspiration of those of whom we rely for the wealth they've gained over the years. So the north is often symbolized by white. And we think of the snow that blankets the earth in lots of places, and the earth has a chance to replenish again and prepare for that vital time of spring and summer, where we see the results of the things that we've done as we plant our crops and prepare for the winter that's yet to come. So our Creator, we've looked to your perfect plan, and we come back to you and ask you to bless this gathering, to make it very fruitful, and that those decisions and agreements that are made will be able to influence policies from those governing bodies that will help us maintain this creation that you've left for us to steward. In your Son's precious and holy name, we offer this prayer. Amen. Thank you, folks, for allowing me to be here today with you. And again, I'm very excited about what I think you will accomplish.
Great, thank you again, Chief Atkins. That was wonderful. I think that really helps ground us in why we're here and just the interconnectedness of everything in our lives that we do. So thank you. Please feel free to stay with us and hear the various perspectives across the region from the different federal and state agencies and Mid-Atlantic Fisheries Councils. I think it's a great day to talk about all the things that we were doing. So thank you.